So we're going to do lettering lesson 15. Judah's here helping me. And I'm so glad that we're going to be diving into God's Word together. Let's see here. In Isaiah, it says, today is Good Friday, and we're getting excited about our Good Friday service. So Isaiah 53, verse 5, he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him. And I was reading today, about what led up to the crucifixion. I was kind of torn between doing like an olive branch, which we may bring in later, but today we're going to do a crown of thorns, and we're going to do that by his wounds we are healed. That's our verse today. So I'm going to flip this around. I hope y'all have had a good day. We went on a picnic, which Judah said we went on a chicknick. And if you have, silly me. If you want to, I'm probably going to do an extra lettering lesson tomorrow. And we would love to have you. We would love to have you come and paint with us, because it's supposed to be kind of dreary. So we have our paper. We're going to do it horizontal landscape. Oh, you're going to use these? Yeah. So Judah is using these. He'd like for you to know that. He's using watercolor brushes. Can be bought on Amazon. I am just going to stick with my watercolor today. And if I can find a pencil, we're going to start out by sketching. I am a liar. We're actually going to do this long ways. So we're going to start out by sketching down here. So essentially, I'm going to do a vine, like an oval right here. This is going to be my crown of thorns. That's where I'm starting. So we're going to come down here, and I'm going to do every other side of the line. I'm doing a thorn going in the same direction. And then I'm going to kind of do another vine going through here that's not going to be, it's not an oval. It's going to kind of be bumpy. And we're going to do some thorns coming off there. And those thorns can go any direction. And I'm going to bring some of them out that make like a really, really skinny triangle. Especially when I bring my paints on them. We'll add even more. Okay, so that's my crown of thorns for our Good Friday. And then we're going to come, and I am going to start out by doing 2 diagonal lines, just like this. And then I'm going to make parallel lines to the side of my paper. So 2 diagonal parallel lines. And then I have these lines, which are parallel to the sides of my paper. Very good, Bubba. He is painting a chick. We have little baby chicks that we took on our picnic with us, which was interesting. And he said we were on a chicknick. Hopefully one day he won't actually use that word again for other reasons. Picnic. Okay. And today, if you're wanting to feel better about how you're doing parenting, I found in my dryer some macaroni noodles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Well, I did. I found macaroni noodles and...
Can you color that in a little? So
yeah, I'm going to color it in.
I just saw the thorn.
Judah wants me to color this in, so I'm going to go ahead and color this in a little bit. So I'm just going to follow those trace lines. Remember, our vine is not going to be a complete perfect circle. What do you think?
Good.
They're singing Jingle Bells upstairs. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. So here's my crown of thorns thus far. I'm bringing it in. I'm going to paint in my lines for our Good Friday. We have a Good Friday drive-in service tonight. And my heart is so sad because I want to be with Riley Ward, who is getting married, and they couldn't have a bunch of people at the wedding. I'm so excited for her today. Other things I've washed in my washing machine just to make you feel better. I've washed an old boot, not like a child's boot, like Corey's boot. I've washed, let's see what else. So I'm painting in my tiny triangles. I've washed a one time when the triplets were little, I've washed about 50 diapers. But one time when the triplets were little, apparently one diaper had a little load in it. Washed a load of poo-poo.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And the sad thing is, I was so tired at the time, I did not rewash them. I just put them in the dryer, hoping that it would kill most of the germs. Don't worry, that was not recently. Everyone's still alive. My mom was not happy with me that day. Okay, so here's my crown of thorns. I'm probably going to thicken a few of those lines. And then, before we get started on our lettering.
Cool, he looks cool.
Very good, buddy. Okay, so I'm thickening a few of those lines. And with a larger brush, my 1-inch brush, I'm going to come in and I am going to paint in purple for royalty. I'm going to paint this banner in. So I have my little sideways rectangle. I guess this is a parallelogram. I'm not very good at geometry. I need to brush up on my geometry names. And then I brought these little tails over, and then I made, we're going to darken this area right here. This is going to be a little darker once we get it all done. But we're going to go ahead and paint this in so it can dry while we do our other lettering, and then we'll come back in and paint our wording in there. Okay, so now we're going to say, I'm going to use black.
Have another piece of cheese.
Oh, sure. You can go get one. I put the package in the fridge.
Okay.
So right here, I'm going to follow. If you'd like to draw a line right here, you could, just to have something to follow. And we'll erase it later. You don't have to. But I'm going to do a block lettering. You okay?
Yeah.
You thinking? J.O. was going to paint with me today, but on our picnic, he fell and got a boo-boo.
And I wanted to watch Do Perfect. Okay.
You wanted to?
And you didn't even let me.
Well, today's your day to paint. The girls enjoy the painting a little bit more than the boys do. Okay. Bye. I'm going to follow those lines, and then I'm going to make it follow this line as well to make my letters, but try not to touch the edges. By his let's see here. We're going to come back and fill these in a little bit. I'm going to follow those lines.
Mommy, do you have to put ink in this?
There's already ink in there, buddy.
Yeah, but what if it runs out?
Well, if it runs out, I think you're kind of up a creek. You got to go ahead and throw it away. You could probably add ink, but I'm not smart enough to know how.
But God is.
God is smart enough. You're right. By his, and this is going to say wounds in just a second. Wounds. Right here, I have a little too big of a space, so I'm going to just do a dot. You could do an arrow right there, or hopefully yours are not quite as far apart as mine. By his wounds, we are healed. So right here, I'm going to write we, and if you'd like to write a little line, you can as a guideline. You don't have to. Okay, so I'm going to write it in my cursive. I'd love to know if you have Easter plans or...
We do.
We sure do.
It's probably 2 more days until Easter.
Yeah, that's right. We have friends who came over yesterday and hid eggs, and it was just precious. Like, they hid a bunch of eggs in our yard without us knowing. Just made our day. And then we have other friends who came and brought us a cookie baking decorating kit, and it was phenomenal. It made me look like I really knew what I was doing, even though I didn't. Okay, so for our next one, I'm going to use about 1 inch down. I'm going to have another line right here. And this I'm going to make a very skinny but long. I'm going to write R, but we're going to bring it all the way out. Kind of make a dividing line. So there's my bringing it out, and up here, I'm going to bring it all the way out. Okay. We are healed. Okay, so around this, I'm going to go ahead and erase this line so I can use all of that space for my next word. Okay. Trying to erase all of my little guidelines. What do you think those girls are doing up there?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I
Me
don't
either.
know.
Uh-oh. There goes my graphic that Jaya made me. Okay. So, I'm sorry, we're going to write healed here in just a second. Right now, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add little ladder lines onto a few of these letters. Let's see here. And really, it doesn't matter what side you add it on. If you have an empty space like me, I'm going to add it on the side I have the empty space just to make that space a little smaller. That one got a little too close. And then this one, bring those crossbars down as well on the ends of the letters. Okay, by his wounds I've already thickened my downstroke on my we, and then right here I'm going to thicken my downstroke on my A. And then my E. Here we go. Okay, now. Yes, baby. Ooh, he's sticking his tongue out.
It's hot.
How silly. You have a silly Billy. Okay, now I'm looking for my favorite paintbrush. So I'm getting a paintbrush that's a little bit bigger than the one I was using. So if you're doing this with watercolor pencils or markers, you just want to make the healed just a little bit thicker. So if you're using something else, just make sure and get ready to make it thicker. So healed. I'm going to go ahead and do this in a block lettering. You're doing such a good job, bud. Again, sometimes I like to mix up the uppercase and lowercase. So I'm following my line from my R, and then I'm kind of trying to bring it around my crown of thorns. What do you think, Bubba?
Good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What are you hoping for to get in your Easter basket?
Some chameleons in a little box.
Some chameleons in a little box. So if anyone has any chameleons in a little box just laying around their house, if you could send them my way, that'd be great. Why do we celebrate Easter, bud?
Because of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Did he die on the cross?
Yeah.
Is he still dead?
No.
What happened?
He rose after 3 days.
That's awesome. So we get to have a party.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also am so excited. My roses bloomed. Let me show you. Actually, I can't show you because I don't. There's a rose, a nice little nostril rose. I don't know how to move this doodad. Okay, hold on. Okay, can you sit down for me? With the same black right here.
Yeah.
Right here, we're gonna bring this around, and I'm going on my little sort of triangle. I'm going to follow this straight line. I'm going to come down to where my ribbon, right here, my ribbon comes out, and I'm making a little curved line, kind of like the ribbon is coming behind there. So, again, with my tiny brush, we're going to do our verse reference at the bottom. Isaiah 53, verse 5. Isaiah... 53, verse 5. Okay. And I'm going to thicken my downstroke on all my little letters. Bring that H around. And then my numbers.
I think I see Owen.
You see Owen?
Can I say hi to him?
Sure, go yell out the window. This is when we're social distancing. We have to yell at people a lot out our door. Probably wouldn't normally let him just yell at people, but why not? Right now, we need our friends. So now on my crown of thorns, I'm coming over here and I'm trying, like the light is hitting it and trying to make a shadow. Bubba, you're rocking the table. Okay, in just a little bit, I'll let you go in there and watch with J.O., okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Can you sign my name?
Have you brushed your teeth today?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Now
can
you
please
sign your own name.
But I want to sign my name in cursive.
Oh, in cursive. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it in cursive. Okay. Do you want to go watch with your brother?
Yeah.
So essentially I'm just adding a little shadow, a little dimension to my crown of thorns. I could even bring in maybe a little different color if you wanted, like a little bit of darker yellow. Just around there, just to bold it a little bit. Sometimes I'm going to bring some of the thorns out without even touching the sides. So it's not going to be absolutely perfect. It's more of just an artist's rendition of the crown of thorns. Okay. By his wounds we are healed. Let's go back up to wounds. We're going to start by outlining what we've already traced out in pencil, our ribbon. And every line I want outlined is just going to kind of make it pop. This is mostly dry. In a perfect world, I would let it dry a little bit longer, just so it doesn't bleed. By his wounds we are healed. I've always loved this scripture. It reminds me of that song, how deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that he should give his only Son to make a wretch his treasure. How great the pain of searing loss, the Father turns his face away, and wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. It was my sin that held him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath hath brought me life. I know that it is finished. Why shall I gain from his reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart. His wounds have paid my ransom. I don't usually sing in public, but I'm feeling crazy, cooped up and crazy. Okay. By his wounds, we are healed. This is a perfect verse for today. I'm going to just leave it like that. If you wanted to do a color wash on top, you could. But That works for today. I'm going to show you what the kids are doing. Let's see here. By his wounds we are healed. Here are my flowers that I'm so proud of. Make my heart so happy. The boys are in here. J.O., show me your Band-Aid. Look at him. He got a little something. He's watching some Dude Perfect. It's my little helper. And you know the girls. They're up there playing dolls. We'll have to go see them a little bit. Here's Judah's, a duck with a crown of thorns. His rendition. I hope y'all have a great day.